Everything is dark, and Sarah opens her eyes. As she briefly wakes up, she sees the inside of a carriage, which is moving. Everything's blurry. She passes out again. The next time she is being roused awake, she hears a group of people arguing. It's a familiar and yet comforting sound, the sound of her friends, but they seem agitated, and yet there's a sound of another voice, familiar, but not as much as those of her friends. Somewhere in the back of Sarah's mind, she's aware that the stranger is Heath, and the other two males are her cousin, Victor, and Littlefoot.
Okay, I am calm, but can you understand why I'm upset? Where is she? She's safe, that's all I can tell you. What do you mean that's all you can tell me? That's not good enough. Well, it's gonna have to be.
Victor walks around, trying his hardest not to pull his horns out of his head.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you actually kidding me right now? You're the reason that we're in the situation, and you're the reason that she ended up in that situation, and now you're telling
Victor,
me...
calm down, says Littlefoot, trying his hardest to lower the temperature, the tension in the room.
Littlefoot, I swear to God, shut the fuck up, because you're also the reason that we're in the situation.
Me? What do you mean?
It's like it's impossible for you to have any common sense and to know when there's danger. I was just trying to help. I think you're all getting a bit carried away. Carried away?
Says Victor, walking steadily up to Heath with his 4 legs, stomping loudly on the ground.
Why? Because we found out that you're the one that released those fucking raptors, and now our friend is missing, and the last time I saw her, she was badly hurt? For the last time. Heath, where is she?
Sarah moans into consciousness, momentarily putting a silence over the room. But it's only because her own voice sounds so loud. Her ears are ringing from the attack, and what makes it even more excruciating is hearing everyone yelling at each other. They haven't noticed her. Victor, Littlefoot, where's Ducky? Is she okay? At this moment, there's an uproar of everyone talking at once, and Victor aggressively pointing his finger at Heath.
You're a piece of shit, and you had no intention of helping us. First of all, your friend's awake.
Littlefoot and Victor redirect their attention to Sarah. Littlefoot quickly runs to her side, his neck swaying behind him. The young three-horn is lying down on her back and getting up gingerly, feeling pain racked all over her body. Sarah! You're okay! I guess it's one way of putting it. Even my horns hurt. I'm so glad you're okay, Sarah! Littlefoot wraps his neck around Sarah. Victor softens his expression only momentarily before glaring at the human Heath again. Sarah opens her eyes. It's very hard to keep them open.
Good to see her in the land of the living.
Thanks, cousin. Where's Ducky?
I don't know, Sarah. Ask your friend.
Victor says, directing his horns towards Heath. Sarah throws an accusatory glance at Heath, or at least as much as she can manage. What did you do with her?
Now look, I told you what would happen, but I guess some people just need to see for themselves.
Sarah gets up on her 4 legs and stretches and almost falls over, but Littlefoot is right by her side to catch her. She looks up at Littlefoot as a way of saying thank you, and then redirects her green eyes back to Heath. You said that you'd help us.
I said I would help you, but I specifically told y'all not to try and escape, which is exactly what you did.
You called off those raptors, though, Heath.
That's right, I did. So you sent them after us then, since they listened to you?
Heath is sitting on the arm of a couch in his room, what looks to be the living room as far as Sarah can observe. He lights a cigarette. His neck-length, dirty blonde hair sways in the draft coming out of the window. The sun's rays are hitting him just right, and even though he seems as though he is the devil himself, Sarah sees him as a handsome man, one that she is fighting the urge to trust.
See, what y'all need to understand is that there's a set of rules here, and if y'all don't follow them, well, you're gonna get eaten up out of the system.
I don't understand, Heath. What about the sharp teeth?
I do control them, sort of.
You let them attack us?
They're just doing their job. See, these people pay a lot of money for the products that come through here. Products?
Victor says.
Products? Okay, products are like cheese, tree stars, lumber, condoms. Those are products. We are living beings. Well, because we're not humans, we're not valuable. You literally took us off of the road and you sold us into slavery. I didn't sell you into slavery. I didn't do that. Well, you let our friends do it. I mean, what the hell, Heath?
Victor, let him talk.
No, I'm done letting him talk. This bitch probably got our friend killed, and he's gonna kill us too.
He says nothing. The three friends start arguing amongst themselves. Sarah stops momentarily, her head banging. Victor, you're making Sarah upset. I was upset long before this, Littlefoot. I just... is Ducky okay?
I said she's fine.
Where is she?
She's fine. And we're supposed to just take your word for it? Yes, you are supposed to take my word for it. Notice that she ain't back at the slavers right now. You're in my house.
We are? It's a very pretty home, Heath. Sarah and Victor collectively stare at Littlefoot with a glare. Sorry.
Now, if you all calm down,
he says, taking another puff of his cigarette.
I'd be happy to tell you exactly how this works, in case you didn't get it the first time around.
All right.
Are you interested to know how you're going to get out of this? Aside from us being sold?
There's a silence that drops over the room. Victor throws his front legs up in the air and walks around, his back facing Heath, trying to gather his nerves. Sarah looks at her cousin walking behind her, and then she looks back at Heath and sits on her hind legs. We're listening, she says.
All right then.
Heath gets up on his two legs, walks towards the window where the sun rays are hitting his face directly, and then he turns back, leaning up against the windowsill so that the sun rays are hitting his back. The outline makes him look like an angel. Or a fallen angel.
You are products around these parts, you just are. Personally, I don't give a damn. I think that if something can think for itself, then it should have the right to walk around freely.
Yeah, that's how most sane people think. Sarah, let him finish.
Now, as I told you, even if I were to go help you, I can't just let you go. That would be irresponsible of me. You'd be hunted down and in a worse situation than you're in right now. So, if you want any chance at escaping, I suggest, once again, we try my plan.
And what is that exactly?
You're gonna have to be sold. Your friend's there right now.
Wait, what?
Yes, she's on the plantation.
You sent her there when she's almost dead?
Well, I struck up a deal with the owner. What kind of deal?
Victor asks.
Don't worry about that. Y'all are gonna go there tomorrow. I'm preparing y'all, that's what I told them. Didn't tell them about your escape. Just that I was transporting you. Get you prepared for training and all that.
Why do we need to be captive for us to be free?
Ain't that how it is?
He says, puffing a cigarette again and butting the ash out the window.
Okay, so once you sell us to these people, then what? You hold your head low for a while, and then we'll talk then. But what is your plan? I don't like things just being up in the ether. Unfortunately for you, it is the best way I can help you if you only know what I literally need you to know at this time. Any more than that, you start getting ideas, like the stupid one you had recently.
So we're just supposed to...
Keep your head down, listen to your masters, that's right. Or, You're all free to go right through my front door. Try your hand at escaping again, see how long you survive before somebody else gets you.
Victor scoffs and rolls his eyes.
But it's not someone else that got us. It was you. It was your raptors. And what do you think happens to me if I don't do my job when they find out that product's missing? Don't think I've got a family at home that needs to eat as well? You don't know how things run around here. It's either you're with the system or you're not. It don't matter what color you are, what species you are. It's just the way things are. You should be glad I'm helping you at all.
Littlefoot puts his finger to his mouth, his neck curved towards the lower part of his body as he ponders. And then he looks up to Heath and then the ceiling. So are you saying that you want us to go and pretend to be slaves in the meantime so that you can plan for an escape?
That's right. After all, if no one knows who you are and you just immediately go free, you're gonna be caught in no time. And guess what? They catch me trying to help you along the way, I get caught as well. Anyone I would help, don't get helped. See where I'm coming from?
I think I understand. We have to avoid suspicion, right guys? Sarah and Victor are quiet, but they're starting to understand that there really is nothing else they can do. Besides, if Ducky's already at the plantation, they can't leave her alone.
Now, what's it gonna be? You're gonna walk out that front door? Or are we gonna do this?
The next time the friends are gathered, they're in one of Heath's carriages, heading to the plantation. The very place where their masters wanted them to be, the people who purchased them. Heath pulls up his horse, and somebody comes to greet him. It's a young female Gallimimus, a two-legged dinosaur creature that looks like a featherless ostrich with a long tail. Hi Heath, how you doing?
I'm doing really well, Cookie. Your owner's home?
Yeah, they're in the back.
Alright, why don't you take the horse from me? I gotta unload some products.
Okay. The young Gallimimus goes around the back, pulls the curtain to the back of the carriage, and Sarah, Victor, and Littlefoot are shielding their eyes. They're very happy to see another dinosaur staring back at them. Hey, my name's Littlefoot. Are you trapped here too? Littlefoot says, making conversation. The Gallimimus just looks at him shocked. Now, I know you ain't gonna just sit here as I pull this horse to the back. This ain't no charity service. Get your hinds out here right now and walk back towards the barn that way, she says. She has a huge chain around her neck, which is indicative of her being a slave as well. Sarah and Victor and Littlefoot are all equally shocked that she's speaking to them this way, like she's one of the owners. I'm sorry, who is it you think you're speaking to? I'm talking to you, dummy, the Gallimimus says, spreading her two long legs and putting her hands on her hips, her tail swishing ferociously. Sarah quickly jumps down, almost butting the Gallimimus, who with extreme agility leaps quickly out of the way, as if effortless. Now listen here, Missy. I've been beaten black and blue emotionally, verbally, physically by these new haws, and I'm not gonna be done in by another person. You can get whipped real raw talking to me like that, she says, waving her neck around sassily. Now I know my name might be Cookie, but I ain't sweet. Don't get it twisted. All I've got to do is say one word, and they'll have you on the chopping block. Is that what you want? Sarah is honestly stunned into silence, number one, because she's never heard one of these long-necked two-leggers talk to another three-horn like this, and secondly, because she had a hard time understanding Cookie.
Sorry, ma'am, for the misconduct. Trust me, we're not trying to start any trouble. It's just my cousin. We've had a long ride, and
I don't give a dead raccoon's ass how long your ride's been. Get back to the barn and do what they told you to do in there.
Yes, ma'am.
Sarah quickly snaps a look at Victor, in total outrage that he's become so submissive to this little twit.
Play the game, Sarah. Play the game. Your big mouth is gonna make things worse for us.
Okay, but she's in the same situation that we're in.
How do you know that? We just got here.
Cookie the Gallimimus rolls her eye and gives a scalding glance at Sarah one last time before walking off with Heath's horse and carriage. What does she think? She's one of them? Just then, the group of friends sees another longneck, one that resembles Allie but much darker. Oh, hi! Come on over here, this is where you go. Sarah, Victor, and Littlefoot follow the directions, and as they go into the barn, they see a whole bunch of new, products, or aka crawbones as they call them, being washed and told what their jobs are. This is so undignified. Sarah says, looking at both Littlefoot and Victor and then looking around at the nasty barn. She steps forward and immediately her foot lands in something soft and squishy and warm.
Was that horseshit?
That is not horseshit, says the dark-colored Longneck. Sarah takes a heaving sigh and relents to what her future is going to be. Victor, Littlefoot, and Sarah are in a smallish pen. They're standing what is akin to a whole bunch of feces, possibly by horses, possibly by other dinosaurs. Littlefoot, Victor, and Sarah can tell that some of these dinosaurs were also sharp teeth.
This is so disgusting. Yeah, we're all standing in it, Sarah. Relax.
Sarah whips her head to look at her cousin.
Relax. We're standing knee-deep in the feces of things that eat us at the Great Valley. I'm supposed to relax.
Hey, look! It's that woman that we saw at the auction place. A woman in a dress that is as big as an umbrella comes waltzing towards them. She has a big, disconcerting, and open smile. Her arms are open and she does a little twirl, and she takes off her hat and does a curtsy. Oh, welcome to the Bedlam Estates. It's so good to have y'all here. I'm so happy that you're all part of the family now. It's that same woman that Sarah just absolutely detests. Boy, get them out of that nasty thing.
Yes, ma'am,
says the young Styracosaurus, who quickly jumps into action and opens the wooden door to the pen. Come on out here, let me look at y'all. Sheepishly, Sarah, Victor, and Littlefoot walk forward. Oh, heads up, chins up, you're in a great place right now. It's like a vacation for you. I don't know where y'all been from before, but I can tell you with all certainty that Bedlam Estates is the best resort you ever gonna be in. You get to have a roof over your head. You get good leftovers. I mean, the nourishment is through the roof. Take a look at all our products and crawbones here. They are all healthy and happy. Ain't that right, Gabby?
Yes, ma'am.
The Styracosaurus wanted so badly to correct her and say that his name was Lugar, his birth name that his mother and father gave him. Not that it mattered anymore, because when they were all taken away from their home, his parents were shipped off somewhere else. And shortly before that, Lugar had seen his mom being beat to death with some kind of iron blade thing. He watched as pieces of her flesh would go falling to the ground around her as she wailed in complete agony and terror. Her eyes open wide, and the only thing that she could look at was the face of her aggressor, as if to say, "Why are you doing this?" He watched his father's horns get chopped off, and he watched as his parents were dragged away undignified with their legs hog-tied. As they were dragged behind the carriages that took them away, red streaks following their bodies that were being sliced open by the rocks on the ground. The woman called him a different name every single day because it didn't matter to her. And now he felt bad for the three newcomers. They sure enough would not be the last. This was his life now, and it would be theirs too. Now, one thing I know that you will love about Bedlam Estates is that we give everybody the job that they're suited for. I've seen other estates and plantations giving little tiny little creatures, like your friends, right over there by the well, these really hard jobs, but we are very, very fair. Are you now? Says Sarah. This elicits a reaction from Wendy, who quickly stops her little jump, skip, annoying walking, and twirls around with her body half facing Sarah, her neck not even moving, with that weird clownish smile still plastered on her face. Victor swallows hard and closes his eyes, inwardly scolding his cousin. Why, yes, we are. Sarah can hear the weird plasticky swishing sound of this awful umbrella dress that this Wendy person has on, as the odious woman makes her way to Sarah to lean down so that she is eye level with the three-horn. Her smile is horrible. Her teeth are different colors, and it looks as though they don't belong with the gums. Sarah twists her face in scorn. With everything inside her, she wants to take her one horn on her face and beat the woman senseless, to get out of her face, to get out of her space, and to let her free and let her go home. But the woman just smiles with that weird, toothy smile and stares at Sarah for what feels like 10 seconds. Littlefoot and Victor look at each other. Sarah is in the middle of them, and the woman is in front of them in the middle as well. They look over at each other over Sarah, momentarily sharing a glance.
You know what? I think we're fair, because here, don't tell nobody, but we only whip when absolutely necessary. And we make y'all feel safe too. So if there's another crawbone over here making y'all feel as though you're not motivated because we believe in safety and good feelings and vibes in the workplace, we make sure that his punishment's very severe. See, we don't stand for that kind of thing. Everybody here at Bedlam Estates is gonna feel really, really special, including you.
She boops Sarah's nose with her fingernail. Her fingers smell like chicken. The woman is still leaned forward, staring at Sarah with that weird smile. Suddenly, the smile drops. Sarah never breaks eye contact.
I can tell that you've been through a lot, and I can assure you, your troubles are over. You're not gonna have to worry about running no more. You're not gonna have to worry about being hurt no more. A lot of crawbones lost their lives out there. Here you're guaranteed safety, my love. You understand?
All right, now let's continue on our tour. I'm going to show you the cabins. Over there's that group's going to give you your jobs. Look how the sun is just shining. You guys are going to be out here in the sunlight the whole time. You never be locked away in a little kooky old barn. Y'all going to get to experience all 4 seasons down here. It gets mighty chilly too in the winter, I'll tell you that. And by God, you're going to experience all of it. Sarah never smiled once at this woman, even though Littlefoot tried. Victor and her just had a sullen face the entire time. Surely the woman understood this, or maybe she was just daft. Wendy finally leads them to an area over the hill, where there's this gigantic crop that spans seemingly forever from the left to the right and quite a distance forward. Several different species of dinosaurs are harvesting it. Sarah and Victor are listening to her annoying voice while Littlefoot is looking at a butterfly nearby, and all of a sudden, they are all broken out of their reverie, not really having listened to what the woman was saying, until the big sound of the crack of a whip breaks through the air. Tommy, Urkel, how y'all doing?
Doing good, Madam Wendy.
Sarah, Littlefoot, and Victor watch in horror as 2 men riding on horses straight up trample one of the dinosaurs under their feet. The poor thing never got back up, and the only reason they did it was to get towards Wendy. One of them was dark-skinned, and the other an olive tone. But what really made them stand out is the fact that both of them had blondish silver hair. How are they doing? They working hard?
Are they dragging their feet today?
Says Tommy, the dark-skinned one.
I don't know what there is to drag their feet about. I mean, look at this sunshine. They're out here for hours just enjoying up and soaking up the sunshine. I don't know what could be the problem.
Wendy turns back around, lifting her dress a little bit so she can see her 3 newcomers.
See, these are the kind of things I'm talking about. Just this ungratefulness. It's a sin, it really is. But I know I don't have to worry about that with y'all.
Anyway, these are our new guests. I figured you put them to work right away so they can get the lay of the land.
Y'all gotta learn fast, cause don't be enjoying the sun right now and you feel it and you feel like you're on vacation. You don't gotta do nothing. Everybody around here's gotta pull their weight.
What do you do? Asks Sarah again, her mouth betraying her. Victor closes his eyes once again in annoyance, wanting so bad to slap her with his tail for her to shut up. Littlefoot's supposed to be the one that's this bad, not Sarah. Tommy and Urkel both look at each other and raise an eyebrow and then look back at Wendy as if to say, "Are you gonna fix that?" Wendy is quiet for a while as she looks at them. And then she thinks. She smiles disconcertingly. Sarah can tell that's not a real smile, but a predatory one.
Well, I'm the one that makes your dreams come true. I'm the reason why all of this is possible. If it weren't for me, you'd still be out there and you'd get a really horrible owner, pushing you beyond your limits and scraping off your skin to eat them. You know there's some owners out there that they straight up eat crawbones. I think that's just the devil's work right there. You're not meant to be eaten, you're meant to work until you can't no more. And then maybe your body can be used as sustenance for others, but while you're here, you are going to live to the fullest of your fullest potential. My job is to make sure that happens. All right, y'all, have fun now. Tommy and Urkel, the 2 overseers, are kicking their horses to get back towards the crops. Pointing to a meager crop line, one of the overseers tells the friends that they can start working on that.
And don't drag your feet. If you do, we'll run the horses over you. You understand? Yes.
As Urkel and Tommy are about to walk away on their horses, the horses stop, their tails swishing, and the horses both turn as if doing a dance to face back of 3 friends.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Urkel, the lighter-skinned one, says.
What?
asks Victor, confused.
What?
Urkel says, and looks at Tommy as they both start laughing. Urkel's horse walks closer to Victor, the creature towering over him. Victor swallows.
I said, what did you say? Yes. What?
Victor's played this game before, and he understands how to play it very well.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Heat stroke, or heat exhaustion. Heat what? It's when you're out. Never mind. You probably don't understand what that means. I'll listen to what you say.
Tommy quickly jumps down from his horse and collars up Victor immediately, his whip hanging over his head.
What did you say to me, boy? I feel like that was kind of a backhanded insult. You think we're stupid or something? What? No. Of course not. I didn't mean to offend you.
Look, we're all tired, but we'll do what you ask us to do. Urkel and Tommy both redirect their gaze to Sarah. Realizing that she's in trouble, Sarah ducks her head. I mean, Miss Wendy wants us to do the work as quickly as possible. We're brand new and she really likes us, so I don't think she'd want you to rough us up on the first day instead of us working. The overseer lets Victor go and knees him in the chest. He then takes the whip and cracks it right over Victor's ear. This person is clearly experienced enough to know exactly how close to get without actually making contact. But now Victor's right ear is ringing. He drops to the floor, completely dizzy and off balance because he can't hear through one of his ears all of a sudden. Victor, are you okay? Littlefoot says, running to his side, his long neck lowering to see if Victor's okay.
We come back here in the hour, and this whole strip ain't done. You're gonna get that welcome that everybody dreads,
says Tommy, his dark skin glistening in the sun. His light-skinned friend smirks as though proud of his partner, and they both ride away on their horses, whipping other dinosaurs. Sarah, Littlefoot, and Victor work on the strip, and they have no idea what to do. These look like very tall plants that completely tower over them. What are we supposed to do with these? They didn't even show us what to do.
Just look at what everyone else is doing.
I think they did that on purpose, just so we can mess up. Jeez, look at these huge spikes! Are we supposed to get the stuff in the middle? When they look at the plants, they have long green stalks with little tiny stems coming out of the middle. However, there are these white balls of fluff. Some of them are yellow and some of them are a deep pink color, but most of them are white. Some of the white is mixed in with some of the pink. No matter what the color, what is very clear is that these things are impaled on these long spikes that twist and curve outwards. So you have to really fish your fingers very carefully to get them out. Not only are these thorns very sharp on the ends, but they also have razor sharp lines on the sides. If you go in and try to pick the fluff off too fast, your skin gets cut open. Littlefoot, Victor, and Sarah have a system though, and they pick up some stones and some sticks to make their own little tools, like tweezers, to pick the fluff out. Heath walks over when he sees them. He's drinking from a canister of water. He throws it to Victor. Victor leans back on his hind legs and catches it, and drinks some and hands it to the rest of his friends.
So this is the plan, huh? Great.
We don't even know what we're supposed to do. Heath looks at what they've been doing, and his eyes furrow.
Oh, sweet Lord. That's not how you do it, oh my God. They're gonna tan your hides. Didn't they show you?
No, they just put us here and told us we have to do it in an hour. We don't even have a way of telling the time.
Alright, see here, put those down. You can't use
Why
them.
not?
This is just the way they do things, alright? You'll compress it. And then after you do that, it loses its value.
You mean squeezing it?
Yes, if you squeeze it. Now, this is how you do it right here. You push it up through the base with the tips of your fingers like this. And you push it all the way up the stem. Turn around, push it up this way. Reposition your fingers on each side because you see the little ridges on the side of the little thorns there.
Yeah, the razors?
Yeah, there's a gap in between them ever so often when it comes up. These things are like freaking 5 inches long. Well, that's how you gotta do it. And you gotta do it in a way that you get all of the fluff off. Can't let it stick to any of the razors too. If they go back and they check over the strip and they see that you wasted some of it and they got caught on those razors or the thorns and some is still left behind, you're gonna be in trouble. You understand?
This is ridiculous. Why don't they have machines to do this?
Machines.
Yes, like, why can't we use the sticks?
I told you why you can't use sticks. Listen to me.
Heath puts his hands on Sarah's shoulders, something that she's not experienced from him before.
And where's Ducky? Where's our friend? Keep your heads down. I promise I'll get you out of this. Alright? I gotta go.
Heath, wait. When are you gonna take us away from here? Heath looks back at Littlefoot and just keeps walking. By the time Sarah, Victor, and Littlefoot are at the end of their line, the two overseers, Tommy and Urkel, come back on their horses. And they are walking very slowly with their horses along the line, looking down at the plants. The both of them inspecting, but they don't have to look very hard, because most of the fluff is still on the plants, wrapped around in the thorns, and completely useless. These crops are very expensive, and these crawbones are costing their employers money. Tommy looks at Urkel. Urkel shakes his head and laughs. While still on their horses standing by the line, Urkel and Tommy call over the three friends.
Y'all crawbones, get over here.
As Sarah, Victor, and Littlefoot look at each other, and they're coming back towards the line, a long row of these plants, they see the horrible job they've done. As they were trying to go as fast as possible, they thought they had a system in place and they were actually doing it. Their front feet, their fingers or toes on their front feet are completely cut and bleeding. Everywhere they walk are leaving red footprints everywhere. When they look at the pile of fluff that they already have, most of it is a red color because of all the blood. As Sarah is walking towards them, all she can hear is her heart racing as both Tommy and Urkel draw out their fat whips from the back of their horse's saddle. Tommy, the dark-skinned human, points to a spot in front of his horse. His horse paws the ground, as if waiting for this moment.
Stand your ass right there. All of you, right there on that spot.
Urkel then walks around them on the other side, both of their whips at the ready. Victor is also nervous, and Littlefoot has no idea what's about to happen. He knows the whip means bad news, and something strikes fear in Victor's heart. As he looks closely at the tip of the whips, he can see that it's not one big belt-like object, but actually a long strip with various tendrils at the end. And at the end are these prickly things, almost like thorns of their own. This whip had teeth. Sarah, Victor, and Littlefoot watched in horror as another type of long neck with red spots all over his body came limping out of the crops back towards their little shacks. His body was covered in red stripes. They were beautiful to look at and very bold. It took a minute to realize that his stripes were melting. And then, it only took a second after that for Victor, Sarah, and Littlefoot to process that those were not the sauropod stripes. Those were the cuts left by the whip. Deep, long welts that turned into open scratches as the overseers pulled back the whip, only for the toothy ends of it to tear at flesh and take it clean off the body. Sarah starts to hyperventilate. She looks up at the overseer in front of her with tears in her eyes as he looks back down, ready to exact punishment.